Right, I have 20, 22, 23 business tips to quickly go through for budding wedding photographers and potentially anybody starting a small business. A lot of these I cover on my 2-day business focused workshop on starting up and running a wedding photography business. I'll go into a lot more detail on these, but here we go. Tip number 1, specialise, but don't over specialise. So I often get new photographers set up their website and they're looking at shooting weddings, dogs, cats, portraits, corporates, head dogs, headshots, kangaroos, landscape, horses, street photography, anything. Yeah, don't. You need to niche and specialise. So my website is specialised. I do weddings, pretty much that's it. I will shoot other things depending on whether I've met couples or other people at a wedding, so we'll do corporate headshots, corporate photography, etc. But specialise, big one. Next one, showcase the best work that you have on your website, so build that strong portfolio up. This is a tip that quite a lot of experienced, well-established photographers will probably hate me for, couldn't care less. If you need to shoot for free when you're starting out to get the portfolio, do it. It is more important to get the portfolio images than to sit at home at your kitchen desk and say, I'm not shooting unless somebody pays me, and starve. Once you get more established and more experienced, do increase your prices, because you know your mortgage provider will not take credits, etc. for that. Invest in decent equipment. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics and the whys and the wherefores of which camera is best. I use Fuji cameras. Purely because they look like a camera, like an old-fashioned camera, fully digital, mirrorless, and they're £700, £800, £900 cheaper than other models, basically. So my gear works for me. Make sure your gear works for you. Another big tip, certainly for newer photographers of any kind of genre, get your editing workflow sorted. The better you have a workflow sorted for your editing, the quicker you can edit the photographs, the quicker you can get them online and or sell them, get them to your clients, so much quicker. Which then gives you more time off, essentially. So rather than faffing about spending weeks trying to edit photos, get them done, get your workflow sorted out as quick as you can. Under promise, over deliver. Make sure that your customer service is absolutely the best it can be. That can come down to, in my case, my contract says 3 weeks for delivery of my wedding photographs, finished wedding photos to a couple. I'm tending to do them within a week, 10 days. Albums, it's about 8 to 10 weeks on my contract. If I push myself and I sort of nudge my wedding album company, I can get them done a little bit quicker. So do that. Your customer service has to be shit hot. Networking with other vendors is really helpful. You will find that other vendors will tend to get a little bit, not another photographer, not another cake maker, etc. That's fine, but it's always great to network, because when you start to become established, you can recommend them, they'll recommend you. As a photographer, we're probably one of the top 2, if not top 2, 3, if not 2 suppliers that's booked right at the start. And I often do a lot of help planning a wedding with my couple, so hair, makeup, cake, venue, dressing, cars. I can recommend all of those because I've been networking for that long. That's really good. Big one for me is create a professional website. Now, when I say professional website, I mean it doesn't have your name.squarespace or your name.wix afterwards. You have your own domain name. And the same goes to having your own professional email address. I think it's more of a Gen X kind of thing, but I'm not really keen when I see suppliers, benefits of having long hair. I'm not really keen when I see suppliers with a Gmail address and that's all they use, or an Outlook address. It's a personal thing. So it might be a Gen X thing, don't know. Social media, you're watching this on YouTube, possibly TikTok, possibly my Facebook channel. Utilize social media, get your work out there. It takes time, absolutely, but you have to invest that time in to do it. A really big one that sort of helped me is asking for and getting reviews. Now, I prefer Google for my review platform rather than Facebook. Google, in my opinion, is a lot more trusted, and when somebody is searching for a wedding photographer and they come up in Google's list, Google also includes how many reviews they've had. I think I'm on 143 at the minute, which is not bad. But if there's two photographers, both work is the same, pricing is the same, everything's the same, and one has more reviews, that's where you tend to go to. Another one that is very contentious, especially in the US at the minute, is pricing on websites. I have been putting my pricing on a website 18, 19 years, nearly 20 years since I've been a wedding photographer, and I've always thought that the reason there is, one, if you're looking for a photographer and you've got a budget, you know whether you can afford me or not. It saves time. You don't have to email me asking for my price. I don't have to sit there banging an email out saying I charge this and I'm out of your price range. I've wasted your time, I've wasted my time. So my prices go on a website. That's entirely what you do. Contract, have a look at one of the other videos that I've done on having a solid contract. It really, really does help. I've been there, seen it, done it within a court arena, and I came out winning because I had a solid contract. I got a list, by the way, which is why I'm looking down. Manage your finances, absolutely must do. We often think as photographers that we have a whole load of expenses, and when the invoice comes in, I've got, yes, spare cash, and I'll go spend the cash, or I'll put some aside for this picture. You need to think about things like what happens if your cameras break, your lenses break, you need new batteries, but also, and this is really important, the government wants their cut. You need to pay for a pension, so your national insurance, a personal pension. If you're young, best piece of advice I can possibly give is put as much money in a personal pension pot and keep doing it. You also need to pay tax. So you need to take out of that invoice that you'll get about 20-25% and stash it away immediately. And then use online accounting software. So I use two. I use Stripe for my invoicing and I use Xero for my sort of bookkeeping, but I can track exactly day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, where my money is going, and more importantly, what I'm spending it on. So that's really good. I've already talked about using social media. Have a really serious think about getting somebody in to help you start to run Meta, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads. What other social media platforms am I on? Blue Sky, Red Note, Threads. I'm sort of losing track. YouTube. Yeah. There's so many social media channels these days. You obviously can't afford to do them all, so concentrate on what works best, but don't concentrate on one alone. Same why you have a website. If you don't have a website and you concentrate on only your Instagram or your Facebook page, what happens when Instagram/Facebook goes down, which it has done, and it continues to do so? Your whole work is lost. What happens if you get banned? You've lost everything. Always have multiple channels to get in front of people. Education, learn new skills. Hence, you're watching this probably, potentially thinking about coming on a 2-day workshop. Investing yourself, investing in skills that will help your business, and not necessarily getting a fantastic photography portfolio, but how to run a business properly, how to work out what your pricing should be, how to put your SEO together, search engine optimization together, why blogging makes a difference, how to use alt tags on a website. All of that is really important, and that takes a little bit of education. Page turn. Oh yeah, this is a really good one, especially for new photographers. Back everything up multiple times straight into the camera. It is really, really important. I've got another video knocking around somewhere on what my workflow is at a wedding, and I think I have minimum of 2 portable SSD solid state drives, and I've got it on my laptop as well, and my cameras have 2 SD cards. You really don't want to lose work, so having that backed up, and then you go back to the office and you've got multiple copies everywhere. You will need PI and PL insurance, professional indemnity, public liability insurance. Your professional indemnity insurance covers you in case you screw up professionally and mess somebody's wedding up. If you get the right cover and get the right insurance company, they'll look after a couple taking you to court for something. The public liability is in case you cause an accident because you've left your camera bag, somebody trips over it, breaks the leg, they want to sue you. We're starting to become in the UK a lot more of a litigious society, very much like the US, where there's a blame, there is a claim. So do not work without PIPL insurance. Build a strong brand. Now that's really, really hard. Best piece of advice I could possibly give is be different, stand out, be authentic, be open, honest and transparent, be you. There are far too many photographers out there, far too many businesses, far too many websites that look and read exactly the same. If you have a couple going through Google looking at exactly the same thing with pretty much the same copy on their website, it all blurs into one. If you stand out and stand out for the right reasons, you'll get booked first. Last one on the list, I don't know how many there is, by the way, don't be afraid to ask for help. Yes, I run a 2-day workshop. I'm also a business mentor for the Welsh Government. So if you're in Wales, you can get some of my help and sort of skills coaching for free. If not, invest in yourself. I don't mind helping you with ad hoc questions via WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, etc. And I'm not going to charge you for that, it's too much of a faff. But if you want to sit down with me for an hour every couple of weeks, yeah, there's going to be a charge in that. But please invest in yourself and don't just think you've got to invest in your photography portfolio. It's the business skills that will keep you in business. That's more important.